Hello, welcome to Valraven, the Chronicles of Blood and Iron. The Backer Kit campaign is nearing the end, and we are very pleased to have you all join us. I am Ghost of Kritfayle, and we are joined by the World Anvil Publishing, Tommaso and Alberto.
Hi. I think I was a bit too eager to start because I didn't realize that on the campaign page it starts now, I think. So I'm looking forward for this page to change in front of my eyes. It is live now. Okay, we are live. We have 8 backers on the backer train. Thank you very much for contributing to the campaign. Alberto is the author of Valraven. Just a reminder, if you didn't see our first stream, he understands English perfectly, like Oxford English. Yeah.
Yes.
But he's a bit shy when it comes to speaking it. So I'll try to do some quick translations. Alberto, again, let's try to do very short sentences. And I need to remember to pay attention to what you say this time, because last time I let you speak and then I kind of forgot that I had the translation. All right. So it's been a great campaign. We are burning through stretch goals. I think there's only one left at the moment, at least of the official ones that we have on the campaign page. Is going to be unlocked at 45,000. We are right now, I'm looking at the page, we are at 43,000. So I believe that in the next 30 minutes, some interesting things are going to happen. And then we are using this time a new feature that Backer Kit implemented. We didn't have it when we did the Dead Dare Seasons campaign. It's called overtime mode, and the way it works is that after the official end of the campaign, they will add 10 minutes. And if in those 10 minutes somebody makes a pledge, the campaign continues for another 10 minutes. And it can potentially go on forever. And that's definitely what we want. But for the time being, we're gonna commit for 90 minutes, and then we see how many people are still backing after 90 minutes. So if there's a lot of you, I think we will continue. We will talk about our life and our dreams and hopes and how everything is getting crushed by modern society. But for now, we are here to speak about Valraven. If you have questions, please just comment under the YouTube video. I would say at this point, that's where we can pick up the comments under the YouTube video, or at the moment of this stream is also broadcasting on Facebook. So if you comment there, we can put your comments on the video and try to answer your questions. We had prepared something to get started. So first of all, we've been playing a little game with the backers of the campaign. If you just arrived, you might not be aware of it. Just check among the updates those that are marked with season of something, and you will see that we are talking about this mercenary company called the Twilight Spears. They played through the 4 seasons of the game. It was also a way to kind of give you an idea what kind of stories you could tell with these mercenary companies during the various seasons of the game. Of course, it's a bit simplified because it needs to happen with a vote on a survey. But basically, at the end of every season, we were asking, do you want to go this way or this other way? The story of like Alberto, do you want to very briefly explain who is leading the Twilight Spears and what was the idea behind this little game?
Sì, è la storia di 2 fratelli, Jared e Kira, che hanno ereditato la compagnia dal loro padre e che si contendono la leadership della stessa, seguendo le stagioni del gioco.
Yeah, so the main idea is that there are these 2 siblings, Jared and Kira. They're very different. They inherited the company from their father, and at the end of each season, they want to do very different things with this company. So at the end of every update, we were asking, like, do you want to do what Jared wants, or do you want to do what Kira wants? So most of the votes went for Kira in like for most seasons, but we have one vote that has not been made public yet. We don't know how it will turn out because we cannot see the voting until it expires, and it expires at the moment the campaign technically would end, so in 25 minutes. However, Ghost, I don't know if you have the chance to go under the that survey. There's a lot of people that have commented on this last one, and if you go into the community tab and then you scroll down to who will win the duel for leadership of the Twilight Spears, are you there? Because you can see a bunch of comments. Would you like to read them? So some might be a bit in weird English, but maybe you can fix it on the fly. So we can try at the very least.
Ricordiamoci che l'ultima scelta è un duello fra I due.
Yeah. So this last scene is a duel, and basically they are deciding who's gonna lead the company, facing each other, and we need to see who wins. Ghost, are you on the page? Can you see the comments?
Yes.
Okay.
I've just got sorry.
I can try to put
Oh,
them
I see why.
Yeah, because actually the way BackerKit works is that you can comment under the update and also under the survey. Most of the comments are under the survey.
Yeah. The only problem I'm having is I'm getting the stream twice when I go there, so there's a lag.
Okay, don't watch the stream on the page, just watch the StreamYard. Otherwise, you will.
Yeah, exactly. It was automatically doing it though, so I was getting a slight delay, which was interesting.
Yeah. So just watch the StreamYard because that's the easiest thing. Like if you watch both, you're gonna go mad, and this is not a Cthulhu game, so we can't have that.
Yes, let me just try to.
I can try to. Let's see if I can put them on screen. I'm just afraid I'm gonna share some tab that I'm not supposed to share, like some work stuff that I haven't removed from the poll. Who will win the duel for leadership? Yeah, I think I can do that. Okay, so I don't know if people can read anything. So who will win the duel for leadership of the Twilight Spears? We had as choices the cold and canic Jared, the brave and impetuous Kira. We have 38 votes on this one. And if you check the comments, most of the people seem to be rooting for Jared this time. So I'm not sure. We wrote 2 finales, so we really don't know who's going to win. Can you read them now?
Yes.
Okay, so
if you want to. So Paul Davis said, I go with Jared. He's the only one thinking in all this instead of acting impetuously. I agree. Graby, I hope I'm saying one of those correctly. Regarding the oral history, it makes sense that in the end, Jared won't murder his sister. He's justified her choice to fight and lead to death a lot of the brave soldiers twice, but making him the good guy who sacrificed his own life and dreams to protect the beloved sister. The death of Jared will probably lead the company to ruin because of the bad choices that Kira in the future and the remorse she will inherit by realizing the sacrifice of her brother. In the end, only despair will prevail.
I really like this answer because in a way, like with the little elements we gave about this company, this guy came up with a much better story than we are actually telling. And I love that because I think the game lends itself really well to do a lot of story with very few pointers in a way. So I really like that people are starting to build on what would happen here in this situation, what would be the consequences, because I think like many of the Echo games, like the Dare in particular, but this one as well, there's a lot of consequences to the things you do, especially in I'm talking about the Dare because that also has seasons that work a bit differently, but in this game, when you do something in one season, it will definitely have an impact on the next one, right? So that's something that's interesting. And we have Analog Drift is saying it's simple but nuanced, and I very much like that definition. Then we have Overdrive. You want to read that?
Yep. Cool name. I like that one, Overdrive. I've been backing Kira, but here I think Jared winning makes more sense for the world they live in, especially if he does so in an underhanded fashion. And Nick Harrington replied to that with saying Jared seems like the type to start early, throw dirt in the eyes, etc. And lastly, we had Matty. Feels like Jared needs the occasional win to keep things interesting, hoping for one here.
Okay, so I was a bit surprised because it's been kind of everybody seemed to like Kira better, but when it comes to what's the rational thing to do, somehow they're thinking twice about giving Kira complete control. I don't know. It might be that in the vote she still wins. As I said, we wrote two different finales, and let's see. It will be revealed when the campaign officially ends. So we still have about 90 minutes left to find out. Okay, other things that... Okay, maybe I can stop sharing this screen. Other things we wanted to discuss. Ghost, you came up with some ideas for companies that you would like to see or create in the game that you think would lend themselves to some interesting stories, right?
Yeah, we toyed with two. We came up with the Helansky's Pack Rats, and the idea with them was Ehrenwald's strength is really difficult for Dormouse to match. They can't easily match them on the field, so they've got to be different and more creative in ways that they do it. So we came up with the idea that this medium-sized company is actually all about transport and logistics. And they've used people that society sometimes has forgotten or think are oddball, but have really creative ways or really hyper-focused ways of looking at every problem more like a puzzle. So we came up with their idea. Jan Helansky is the leader. The faction we decided was Dormouse because they're the underdogs. Their speciality is logistics and organization. Their weakness is that they're not strong militarily like a lot of mercenary companies because their focus was more on being able to get all the supplies and things like that to where they need to. And their instinct was we get it there no matter what. Their size is medium, and through rain, hail, or snow was the keywords that we sort of came up with. And the other one we came up with was...
wait a second. I want to hear Alberto's opinion on this. Alberto, do you need translation or did you understand what...
sono fondamentalmente una compagnia che procura...
Trasporta risorse.
Esatto, molto bella come idea.
Okay. He's pleased, of course. And I have to say that we haven't used a company like that. Most of them are somehow... offensive or they're sneaking into places or things like that.
La specializzazione della compagnia dice molto sul tipo di campagna che andrà giocata.
Yeah, he's saying that the specialization that you pick for your company tells a lot of things about the kind of campaign you will end up playing. And I have to say that this idea gives me a lot of makes my brain spin because
flag per il maestro delle cronache per creare...
Yeah, Alberto is saying that like just this little sentence that you say that they need to get the stuff in some place no matter what creates this kind of flags or not narrative flags that tells you, okay, the stories we're going to tell with this company are going to be very different from a company that is always on the front lines and always clashing with other armies. They're going to have very different problems from the others. And I really like this idea. It's not something we have explored before. And I wonder why we haven't thought about that. But it's great that you came up with that. And what's the second one?
The second one was Duran's Raiders. And they're a small flotilla of ships, not a great amount. But again, I was playing with the idea of countering the big beast that is Ehrenwald. They need other ways to do it. So their real strength is that they will sail through storms and they know all the grottos and inlets all along the coast. There's a lot of coastline in Valraven, and I thought it would be interesting if there was this small group of half crazy sailors that knew all these inlets and grottos, and so they will drop troops behind and in unusual places that will then do small raids on in areas that the enemy would not expect to have any opposition, and suddenly they've got a problem, and then they sort of slip back and sail away. So the leader was Captain Juran Swift. We went with Durmas again because we just like the underdogs. Their specialities were sailing and navigation, and fearlessness in the face of even the most foulest of weather. Their weakness was that few of the troops that go with them were ever sailors, and some didn't want to get back on the ships after suffering the seasickness that would have come from it. The instinct was to reach far and hurt where least expected. Their size is small because there are few ships. And the keywords were smell of the ocean, the black flag, and the closer the better. The one thing we toyed with as an idea, but we didn't know if it narratively would work, is we decided that they had a patron who was a merchant who had been a bit hard done by Ehrenwald. The thing we didn't know if it worked or not was if their patron that was fighting for Dormas was from Ehrenwald. If Ehrenwald, the Imperium, had somehow done something to them that had been not particularly nice, and they've gone, well, okay, we're going to secretly fund this to sort of, we don't think you're going to win the war, but I'll make some money and it's going to hurt you a little while we do it to get back at them.
Yeah, I think definitely betrayal is part of the... We decided that probably we're going to settle on Season of Venom as the season where there's all the political intrigue. So the fact that they have a patron that feels betrayed by Ehrenwald and switches to Dormas, it's absolutely a legit idea. And even in this case, I don't think we have in the book a mercenary company that uses ships in this way. Alberto, is that true?
No, è molto bella l'idea di questa pattuglia marittima.
So he's now wondering, what have I done with my life? I haven't come up with it.
Questo, Tommaso, si collega anche al fatto che nel manuale ci sono due modi di giocare la campagna: affrontando grandi battaglie o giocando una piccola compagnia che fa missioni, e questa seconda, ad esempio, si va a collocare perfettamente in quella
So what he's saying is that there are actually two ways to play the game. It's a bit more nuanced than that. They can kind of blend into each other fairly easily, but the idea is that, like, you can have these big companies that do like proper military campaigns, or have maybe a smaller company that takes on smaller missions, and this company that you just described would lend itself very well to some kind of smuggling or other kind of operations along the coasts. And the idea, like, they're not exactly pirates, but they also kind of feel a bit like pirates.
Right.
So and I like the idea that they might take the enemy unexpected from unexpected angles from the sea. That's a very good idea. We haven't really explored the sea fights that much in this couple of books that are on the campaign, even though Alberto has ideas for expansions there. And one thing I remember is that once we received a very long document from a fan of the game that was detailing one other island than Valraven that had more of a sea kind of culture, like it was more focused on travel and sailors and maybe merchants moving from this island to Valraven. It was a fan fiction in a way, but it was quite detailed. So there's definitely potential there that we haven't completely explored in this campaign. But I mean, people are gonna get about 500 pages of stuff. So I think it's gonna be enough for now.
Yep.
Of course, the world of Valraven is much bigger than just the continent of Valraven. So potentially
there's continente Valraven.
Yeah, of course, it's just a continent. It's not a whole world. So
non è un mondo, un continente.
Potentially, there's much more to explore. All right, we have 10 minutes left. The backer train is going, so if you're on the fence, now's the time to jump in, because we want to keep it going for a bit longer. Let's see. I think one of the stretch goals that people were most excited about was the solo mode. That has been unlocked. And also we unlocked one thing that is not featured in the Italian version of the game, so it's completely new. It's a group expansion to play with the full company, because the normal solo mode focuses on one single member of the company. But some people suggested it. We thought it was a cool idea. It's feasible. Of course, we need a bit of time to brainstorm exactly how it will work. During the campaign, it's very hard to do any design. But Alberto had some thoughts. We were at an event last weekend together. We got our hands on some interesting solo games that might give us or might not give us some ideas. But Alberto himself is avid player of solo games, so he's been playing a few, and I'm sure he will play a few more before maybe this mode is completely developed. But he already had some ideas. So do you want to explain how maybe the group solo would work?
Allora, prima di tutto cercheremo di riportare la divisione in stagioni come quando si gioca con un GM, quindi mantenere le stagioni per la compagnia.
I'll stop you there. Like, we have a question. Does backer kit account for different currencies since it's only showing in euro? No, you have to pay in euro, but right now it's I assume you're pledging from the US. It's almost 1-to-1 the conversion. I can double check it right now, but yeah, you cannot pay in dollars. So 1 euro is right now 1.09 US dollars. I would say it's pretty much 1-to-1. So
UK, so pounds.
It's okay. Is this backer from UK? Yeah.
Yes.
So let me double check. UK, it's 0.86. So I don't know, like, depends what pledge you're interested in, but you need to multiply by 0.86 to get the amount in pounds. But other than that, you can pledge with whatever you have, and they will do the conversion. So that's the thing. So Alberto was saying that we will bring back the season structure into because normally the solo mode doesn't really work with the season.
Una missione singola, crea una singola missione del personaggio.
It's a single mission. So for the whole company, we will bring back the season structure. And for the people who haven't followed the campaign, there are 4 seasons in Valraven. This is like, it's just a guideline. You don't have to play them in this order. But we have the Season of Blood, which is when you are trying to approach your objective, like the parts. Each season could be like 2 or 3 sessions in a normal gameplay mode. Then there's the Season of Iron, when you actually defeat the boss, take the castle, whatever is your main objective. So that's where things get finalized in a way. Then we have the Season of Venom, which is the one where there are all the political intrigues. You visit the courts. It's a bit more, there's a bit less action, but there might be betrayals. It's like the Red Wedding of Valraven, to use a reference that probably most people know about. And then we have the final season, is the Season of Destiny, where we zoom into the characters and we see how they manage to pursue their dream. Alberto, if you want to continue, maybe.
Sì, cercheremo di mantenere la struttura, però basandoci sugli input che daranno i giocatori per la loro compagnia, perché il solo mode in solitario, in singolo, dà proprio degli input al giocatore per permettere al singolo giocatore di elaborare, mentre il solo mode di gruppo vuole creare degli elementi da affrontare, di contrasto, però partendo da ciò che mettono i giocatori come idea della loro compagnia.
Right. So normally the solo mode gives you inputs on what is happening, but if we extend it to the whole group, I think that the seasons will unfold according to the inputs that you want to see in there. Am I getting this correctly? Is this the thing? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, did you think about how you will use the other characters in the company, or is there going to be a main one? Are we going to focus on some at the time?
Allora, siccome Valraven è un gioco che valuta la fiction, cioè occorre una valutazione in fiction per procedere con quello che succede.
Okay. Because Valraven is a game where you have to evaluate the fiction. So what the things you are telling influence even the mechanical part of the game. So because of this reason.
In un gioco di gruppo ci sarà bisogno in alcuni momenti che uno dei giocatori faccia queste valutazioni e quindi crei magari opposizione a altro nel solo mode di gruppo.
So during the solo mode where you're playing the whole group, you will have to make certain evaluation about how things are going, more or less.
Però le scene avranno un sistema per mettere lo spotlight su alcuni personaggi e quindi sarà più facile.
Okay, to make this a bit easier is that the scenes will put the spotlights on certain characters at the time. So you want to have like to handle 45 characters all at once, but maybe in this scene we are focusing on 3 of them, and the others are going to be in the background, if I remember what you were telling me about the plan. So Alberto is mute now because he's a bit sick. We went to this event and he got everything he could get there. so the idea was that the other characters are still present, but they are a bit more in the background, right?
Però sono presenti, possono agire, non è che sono tagliati fuori.
They can act, but the focus is on 2 or 3 of main characters, and then these characters can change in another scene, right?
Sì, questo sarà principalmente per la stagione del sangue e del ferro, perché quella dei veleni e dei destini già di base tendono a dividere i personaggi in scene dedicate.
So this is mostly for the season of blood and the season of iron, because in the season of venom and the season of destiny, already by design they tend to divide the characters into smaller groups. So that would be a bit more how it usually works. But for the seasons where there's a lot of action, we will put focus on certain characters according to the scene, but you will play more of them.
Questo per dire che quando è presente un maestro delle cronache è lui che in una battaglia imposta la battaglia e magari divide i personaggi sul fronte, mentre nel solo mode.
So when there's Master of Chronicles, like they are the ones that divide the characters or set up the battle. But if you're playing solo mode, you're doing everything.
Sarà il solo mode a dare le impostazioni in modo da creare vari punti che impegnano i personaggi.
So the solo mode itself will give you some pointers on how to set up these scenes in a way that it makes sense. That's the thing. I know this is hard to translate piece by piece, but it's the only way I can actually follow the whole thing, because Alberto tends to speak a lot and then I kind of forget what he just said. So all right, so we have 3 minutes left. 2 backers on the backer train.
I have a question on the solo mode,
guys. Sorry,
with solo mode, will the character that you use in there, or the company, if you're doing the company one, will there be any advancement? And can you move that character from the solo mode seamlessly to a regular table and vice versa?
Sì, cioè, perché alla fine le regole sono condivise, sono le stesse.
Okay, in the end the rules are the same. So moving it's nice, like okay, so apparently we got 10 more minutes now because somebody jumped in. So now 10 more minutes. The campaign now doesn't end in a minute, it ends in 10 minutes. Okay, that's interesting. The rules are the same. So it would be very easy to move one solo character from the solo mode to the real game with other players. And I think you're asking because probably you're thinking, I can play a bit of solo and then bring my characters to play with other people and then maybe go back to solo.
Right.
Yeah, you can do that. So that's the idea.
È come succede in Dead Air, ad esempio, che puoi prendere il personaggio della comunità e fargli fare una missione in solo.
Yeah, so the same happens in Dead Air, where you take a normal character you create for a community, and the solo mode is the idea there is that this character is sent on a mission for the community, but he's alone. And then when he comes back, he can just keep playing as a normal character with other players. So we have another question. For group solo mode, are you planning sets of prompts for each seasons to create some challenging choices for the company with potential fallout for individual characters?
Sì, yes, esatto.
Yes.
Cioè, il solo mode deve creare situazioni che i giocatori devono affrontare, ma devono essere situazioni che poi i giocatori possono applicare sulla storia della loro compagnia, quindi non generiche.
Wait. So the solo mode needs to create situations that the characters can overcome, but they need to be situations that are applicable to their own company. But yeah, the idea is that we will give you ideas on the problems that your company will face. That's what you wanted to say, right?
Cioè, per fare un esempio, se affronti una compagnia che è già stata introdotta nel gioco, non verrà creata a caso, ma le regole chiederanno ai giocatori di collocare le caratteristiche della compagnia nei vari step della battaglia o prove che verranno fuori della compagnia avversaria, intendo.
Okay, this is a bit difficult to translate, but the idea is that if you are facing a mercenary company that you already faced in the normal game with other players, the solo mode will give you pointers on how to use this company that you already faced once in a battle and to create problems for yourself, even when you are just playing solo. That's more or less the gist of it. All right. I think it's time to check the who won the duel. We have 499 backers. It would be awesome if we at least get 500. 499. It's a weird number, so let's go get to 500. Okay, so let me just give me a minute. I'll try to find the survey polls. Okay, view results, and the winner is. Oh, it doesn't show yet.
The winner is.
It doesn't show. So there's more.
They killed each other.
38 votes. I can't see. About 2 hours left. Oh no, I made a mistake. I made a mistake in the timing. I hate this time zone stuff. So we will know in 2 hours. I'm really sorry, but I thought that now it will be the end. You still have 2 hours. So that's a great news for the people that are entering the campaign now. You still have time to go back and vote for Jared and Kira. Kevin is saying, awesome, I play a few solo RPGs and love digging into shiny new toys in terms of narrative inspirations. So don't worry, Kevin. We will make it right, and hopefully you will enjoy what we make. Alberto, at this point, this is how many solo modes you made? You made the one for Evolution Park Rebirth. You made this one for Valraven. You made the one for Dead Air and the one for Broken Tales.
Evolution Pulse for Fate.
Evolution Pulse for Fate.
And from L to L.
Well, in a way, there's also like your choose your own adventure books that are somehow a solo things. So it's very experienced. He will do a pretty good job. I'm quite sure. All right. Now the Baker train says that we have 7 minutes left. So if somebody's watching the stream or thinking about joining the campaign, you have 7 minutes to decide. I did mark down a couple of things. I think that Ghost marked down some interesting questions. I also have the this one. A lot of companies do light games. The Word Anvil does darker ones. Why? How does that lead to a different kind of storytelling? I've been thinking about this question since you brought it down. I am not sure, but let's see what Alberto has to say. Why do we only do games that are dark?
Perché ho avuto un attimo di assenza della rete. Beh, principalmente, a parte le ispirazioni, ad esempio Berserk nel caso di Valraven, quindi il gusto personale per queste opere, i mondi oscuri...
saying like of course, well, in the case of Valraven, the main inspiration is Berserk, which is a kind of darker manga. Well, one thing I can say is that when I met Alberto, we found out we have so many things in common of things we like, so we kind of met. It's like, oh, you like that?
Music.
I like that. Like, do you like that band? I have a tattoo of that band. So it was this kind of situation.
Diciamo che i mondi oscuri spesso sono sfidanti per i giocatori e quindi favoriscono il creare situazioni interessanti da giocare.
So an interesting answer is saying that darker settings are often very challenging for players, and that lends itself to creating interesting narrative situations. I've been thinking about these questions, like why do I like all this darker stuff? But it's not just role play games; it's just like music or. I was playing recently Hellblade 2 that just came out. Very dark a game.
Yep.
Like I'm honestly a bit shocked. It's like, oh, holy shit.
Yeah.
I think it's also a way to exercise a bit of those things, to think about topics that people don't normally would think about, and to put them in context to the life we have, and thinking about how good we have it. And also like putting yourself in uncomfortable shoes in a way. That said, now I have a small kid. I've been thinking, hey, it would be nice to do something that is not this dark, like, so I could play with my kid at some point. But I feel that, and actually I've been working through the idea that the Word Anvil has this kind of branding. So I think we're always gonna be a bit into this direction, because I feel that's what people expect from this company at this point. So if I would do a Totoro game right now, it would feel weird. Like, I don't think we would even have the right audience for it, right? But it's something I've been thinking about. Hey, it will also be nice to have something a bit lighter. Probably would be some kind of sister label or something like that. It's not something we're gonna do immediately, but it's something I've been thinking about. And I also have a great concept for a game about grandmothers, which it's So one day we will do something with that is a bit more colorful, and but it might be a separate entity. I think it would be good to have two different, like, this is more games for adults, and the other one is more family friendly. That's something I'm interested in, but maybe not with the Word Anvil. So
because like a lot of games, they do a paladin and they would be shining, gleaming in the sunlight, holding their sword like a star to the sky. Word Anvil gets it. He slept with the king's wife. He's murdered the chancellor who's found out about it. His armor's tarnished and rusted, and he's living poor. And it's like,
I don't know. I don't feel that these overly heroic characters are very interesting. I just don't find there's no conflict usually within them. There's not much to explore usually there. And of course, I'm generalizing. There are some very good examples, but I feel that each of us has some darker aspects that maybe are hard to explore. And RPG games are a way to maybe test the waters on some things that you might not experience in normal life. So I don't know. I don't have a very good answer for this. I will keep thinking about it. Then we have one question. I think it might be the last one because we have 100 seconds left unless somebody jumps in right now. Guys, this is your moment. NPCs play a very big role in the World Anvil games. What is the benefit of that, and how does it add to the game and play experience? I think this is a question for Alberto. Why do we have so much focus on making NPCs playable and interesting?
Perché gli NPC sono il modo migliore per rappresentare il mondo attorno ai personaggi, per dargli colore e profondità, ma per dare anche idee interessanti al di fuori dei personaggi.
So NPCs are the best way to depict the world around the characters. And also, what was the last thing you said? Alberto,
sì?
What was the last thing you said?
Sono il modo migliore per caratterizzare il mondo attorno ai personaggi, senza concentrarsi sui personaggi.
Yeah, it's just the best way to characterize the world without focusing too much on the characters themselves. So,
e poi in tante storie, spesso e volentieri, i personaggi di contorno spesso hanno delle storie molto interessanti da esplorare, da vedere dagli occhi dei personaggi.
So in many stories, these characters have very interesting stories to explore. I think what maybe sets us apart a bit is that in several games, Valraven and Dead Air Seasons, we also make them playable if they're interesting enough for the table. I can see we are 5 seconds from the end. I think that's it because nobody jumped in. 1-0, and I think the campaign is over. All right, so we landed at 499 backers. We couldn't get the 500, but anyway, very successful campaign. I'm happy with the result, and I think we have one comment.
We do have a comment from Pedro.
Yeah. I seen it now. Let's answer this. Talking about Dark, will there be guidelines to develop our own path of perdition for the characters, as in how more decaying dreadful each step should be compared to the previous one? Yes.
Le regole sulla via della perdizione nel quick start sono dati degli spunti generici, ma in realtà la via della perdizione viene creata sulla base di ciò che accade nella fiction.
Yeah, so the quick start has, of course, some suggestions because like the space is limited, but the idea of the path of perdition is that it is created based on what happens in the fiction of your own game. So they will be very attached to what the character is actually doing. They're not given by default, and I think that's also the best way, both for the player to explore this. What is the dark side of your character? What happens if your character kind of is turned upside down in a way? And only you know, right? We cannot know what is the worst thing that can happen to your character, you know. And yeah, so in general, yeah, definitely you will be able to develop your own. I think that's the best way to go. If you don't want to do that, we will have suggestions, but I think the best way is that you tailor it to your character. Okay, so unfortunately, I cannot say who won the thing. So I will have to wait to send the thank you message for all the backers until I can see the results, because I can't see them for another 2 hours. If we don't have any more questions, I think probably that's it for us as well. Any last word, Ghost?
Yeah, is the Twilight Spears member count going to be the number of backers?
No, I think that would be, you know, maybe we can do that. But I always imagine them a bit smaller, but actually we can.
No, si sono riformati dopo alla fine, quindi effettivamente.
Okay, there is something we haven't told you about the Twilight Spears. We are gonna post an epilogue as soon as I know the results, because I need to pick the right finale. there is still a little surprise there. So just stay tuned. As soon as I can read the poll result, I don't know why I put it wrong. Here it says, still 2 hours, so we need to wait.
È il duello di Schrödinger, è finito, ma in realtà no.
Yeah, it's we wanted to create more suspense, so that's the thing. All right, thank you very much, Ghost, for hosting this. Alberto for being the author of this awesome game, and I'll be in touch in a couple of hours with the final update. Thank you very much for following the campaign, for trusting in our project. We will do our best to deliver the nicest game and product that we can.
And the quick
you
starts.
can always,
there's quick starts. There's quick starts.
There's the quick start. If you haven't played yet,
they have. Check it out.
I didn't put here the Discord address, but anyway, you can find it on the campaign page. You can come to Discord, talk with us pretty much every day. If you have questions, if you want to know other members of the community that are interested in Valraven. And we'll be in touch at least once a month after the final update that I will do later to give you an idea of where we are with things. And that's it for Valraven. Thank you very much again to our 499 backers. Thank you. Thank you.